Well, hello and welcome once again to the Energy Arena in Aarhus and live coverage of the 2014 Men's European Handball Championships. Paul Bray with you here for this second match of the day between Russia and Sweden. We're still catching our breath after that amazing game as Poland just overturned, as you can see, their 4-goal deficit with 4 minutes to go to beat Belarus 31-30. While later on we have a real treat for you as France prepared to take on Croatia. But for now, there's the matter of Russia taking on Sweden. The Russian team who just squeaked through in the end. Came through with a win against Serbia, though they lost to Poland in their last match in the group stages. France's win over Serbia sent the European silver medalists home after the preliminary stages and gave Russia a reprieve, although they arrive in this group with 0 points. And Russia up today against the silver medalists from the Olympics. So for the moment then, Croatia and France top of the group with maximum points brought through from their preliminary stages where they won all their games. Poland's win puts them above Sweden for now, while Russia and Belarus have yet to get off the ground with 0 points. So now the hall announcers presenting the teams to the crowd, starting with Sweden. Swedish team, European champions 4 times, 2002, 2000, 1998, and then right back to 1994. Very talented side. We've been surprised a little when they made their way through to the final of the Olympic Games, and they were very unlucky against France, but still took away the silver medal, finishing ahead of fancied opposition such as Denmark, Croatia and Spain. There are their 2 coaches, Ola Lindgren and Staffan Olsson, who were both there. They last won European Championships back in 2002 and 2000. So now for the Russian team. Much working in progress, the Russian team under the new coach Oleg Kuleshov, who's replaced Vladimir Maximov. We'll see him in a moment. But these 2 countries were the powerhouses of handball in the mid-90s to early 2000s, meeting in 1 Olympic, 2 European and 2 World Finals. But of course it was a different era. It was the era of Lindgren and Olsson, the 2 coaches we just saw, in Wieslander of course, and for Russia the likes of Lavrov, Torgovanov, Tushkin and Kudinov. Since then, I'm afraid, Russia's star has somewhat gone down, although Sweden have been hanging in there or thereabouts, slowly coming back up again. Indeed, an interesting fact is that the coaches of the 2 respective teams today faced each other in the 1997 World Championship final in Japan, with the Russian coach Kuleshov claiming bragging rights on that occasion over Lindgren and Olsson, as Russia won 23-21. So finding old acquaintances, the coaches here today, from their playing days. There he is. It's only a World Championship medal, but also European champion in 1996, looking very focused indeed. So the referees now being introduced. From Latvia, Zigmar Stolarovs. Renar Lisic. For the semi-final at last year's Women's European Championships. So some of the Swedish fans then, they have been very well supported, Sweden. They've had up to 4,000 rather spectators at some of the matches, and it has created a fantastic feel in Copenhagen. This, of course, slightly further for them to go. It's not just a matter of crossing the bridge anymore. They have to get into Jutland. So now the anthem starting with Russia. breath, you've just about heard it. Murmurred anthem, very focused team, and now the anthem of Sweden. A great cheer from the Swedish supporters. 12 meetings between these two teams. Sweden have won 7, Russia 5, but you have to go back to 2007 for the last meeting. Sweden winning 33-28 in the Super Cup, a friendly tournament. The two teams wheel round and shake hands. The old acquaintances in there. So let's have a look at the teams then. Russia rebuilding under Kuleshov. The old hands are there. Right winger Kovalyev, right back Igropulo, and the line player Evdokimov, but so too are the new crop. Left back Zhitnikov and Pushkin on the line, but some doubt over Gorbok's fitness. Hurt his back against Serbia and seemed to aggravate it against Poland. There is Igropulo, formerly of Barcelona, now with Fuchs Berlin, the 28-year-old who has scored 10 goals so far in the competition. Over 500 for Russia in total, though, in 108 internationals. On his day, he can really take the team with him. For Sweden, well, they've looked very impressive, and without their injured captain Kim Andersson, Zachrisson and Peterson have looked very sharp on the wings, as have the left backs and right backs, Ekdal, Karlsson and new boy Persson. Well, Nilsson has 14 from 14 on the line. There is Lukas Karlsson, 41-year-old who plays for Kolding Copenhagen in Denmark, a 31-year-old who scored 9 goals so far in the competition, 117 in totals for Sweden. 65 internationals. So Oleg Kuleshov hoping that his team can pull off what would be a surprise win against the more experienced Sweden team. That is Staffan Olsson, one of the coaching duo, and there is Ola Lindgren. And working as a double act for some time now. So the referees just a quick head count to make sure we've got the requisite number of players on court, and we'll be ready to go. So here we go, almost unheard. The whistle has gone, and Sweden in the traditional yellow shirts and blue shorts throw off, playing from left to right. Russia in the all-red strip open up, not unsurprisingly. With a 5-1 defense. Skopintsev at the front, who's been very effective, the 29-year-old who plays for Zaporozhye in the Ukraine, disrupting crossovers and trying to steal the ball. There, ball kept in play for Sweden. Fredrik Peterson playing at the back, and the opening goal for Sweden. Nice attempt by who else but Lukas Karlsson. Gorbok, Igropulo. That took a little bit of a deflection off a defender. Took the sting out of the shot, and it was a comfortable save for Mattias Andersson. Swedish keeper, who's the second best in the competition on save rates, 43% inside the area. That won't count. Igropulo. That will, though. Goal by Igropulo, who's scoring and just under 50% success rate in this competition. His third European Championship as Sweden's line player. Andreas Nilsson ambles in on the line, number 35. Very impressive, the 23-year-old who plays for Hamburg. 14 goals and 14 attempts. Coaches must be absolutely delighted with him. No one picked him up. That's going to be a free throw. Gorbok thought he'd got the attacking foul on Ekdal, but not given. 24-year-old left back. Plays for Rhein-Neckar Löwen in Germany. Gets the free throw. So once more, wingers coming out. Peterson constantly looking for the break, but now it's Russia who come out. Gorbok passing ahead to Kovalyev, the captain. Brilliant save by Mattias Andersson. Celebrated his 100th international recently for Sweden. The only player remaining in the team, Andersson, who won a medal with Sweden. He was Olympic champion in 2000 and European champion as well in 2000. Ironically playing alongside the coaches, Lindgren and Olsen in those days. Trying to go through, no way there for Zhitnikov, who comes back. 24-year-old who's playing in just his second major competition, was at the World Championships last year, didn't get a lot of court time. But he's now the playmaker for the Russian team. Russia, of course, who've arrived here without three key players. That's going to be a free throw. Poor old Pushkin sat on. It's an easy call on the yellow card for Mattias Zachrisson. So Russia here, of course, without the injured Chipurin and Ratsvortsev, who've moved from Tchaikovsky, now play for Vardar Skopje in Macedonia, as does Dibirov. In his case, though, not here because he declared himself unavailable. A matter of some debate in Russia. Meanwhile, though, Igropoulou gets his second of the game for Russia. Trying to release the ball, the referees play on. That's blocked by the defence, still in play, though. Sweden have it, and they slow the pace down. Jakobsen at the right for the moment as ever. Andreas Nilsson being used in attack only. And still this very deep defence, and Sweden looking to get in behind that front defender. The wingers coming around a lot to try and exploit the space. Ekdal in the playmaker position, that's unlucky. Catches the corner, long pass by Igropoulou. Skopin save, nothing given. He couldn't quite control the ball quickly enough. Fumbled it at the first attempt, and it cost him in the end. And they pay the price as Ekdal scores at the other end. Pass out by Andersson. 2-2. No one got near Sergei Gorbok. Gorbok, who has been very impressive, but injured his back, as I mentioned, the second game against Serbia. He came out and played in the Polish match, but had a miserable time, looked very uncomfortable, scored 1 from 9 only, and eventually fell on his back again and had to be substituted. That's Jernemir and Karlsson, the two defence specialists for Sweden. Jernemir, 1m98, 106 kilos, and Karlsson, 196, 102 kilos. A bit of an immovable feast in the centre. Free throw. And a yellow card for Pavel Atman. It's for Metalurg Skopje in Macedonia, where he comes up against Russian teammates Chipurin and Ratsvortsev. In club games, they're playing for Vardar in the same city and they share the same ball. And that's a penalty, meanwhile, for Sweden. Little push in the back for Johan Jakobsen, who plays for Aalborg, in the north of the country, where they had one of the preliminary groups. And so the first penalty of the game, and it's Peterson who scored 4 from 6. Well, have I jinxed him? At the second attempt, well, Zachrisson hit the ball so well he couldn't find it himself. Picks the ball up, there's the initial save. It was a good one by Vadim Bogdanov, his first penalty save, but unfortunately for him, none of his teammates were there to pick up the loose ball, and we've got another yellow card. And it's Ekdal who's picked it up. I don't think it's Jernemir. It is Ekdal. 6.5 it is played, then it's all square here, 3-3. Sweden, for their part, very impressive in their preliminary group in Copenhagen. Good play, Igropoulou. Well, he's really on form today, Igropoulou. He's had a mixed fortune so far in Denmark. Scored 2 and set up a couple. Looking for the line. Play on, say the referees. Oof. Zachrisson takes a little bit of a knock on the way round. Gives me a chance to tell you then that in the Group D in Copenhagen, Sweden beat Montenegro and Belarus. And I suppose you would have expected it. There's Zhitnikov catching him with a nice chesting move onto his ear. He just wanted him to listen to his heart and make sure he's okay. Ice packs out. Sweden then played a cracking game against Croatia, their final preliminary group game. Just going down 24-25 late in the game. But still very much with a chance to go through. So the 4 groups of 4 have now become 2 groups of 6 in the main round, with the top 2 teams in each group going through to the semi-final. As you would expect, it will be winner against runner-up of the other group. Still treatment receiving given to Matthias Zachrisson, the 23-year-old relative newcomer. He was a reserve in the Olympic squad in London, but didn't actually play. But here, very much in the thick of it, Zachrisson. 10 goals at a 63% success rate for the Fuchs Berlin winger. It's in Ademar in Spain the year before that. So, attack resumes. And Lucas Karlsson now playing at the right-back position, number 8. Mixing and matching at the moment, looking for the line. That's brilliantly done, but he's inside. Oh, I thought he was landed. Johan Jakobsen, it's given. Igropoulou, that came off a defender, took the sting out of it. Long pass out by the keeper, fantastic take! Brilliant, Peterson. Celebrations for the 30-year-old. Teammate of Nielsen's at Fuchs Berlin. Pass by Matthias Andersson in goal, the 35-year-old veteran keeper. So Gorbok at left back, Zhitnikov in the centre, Igropoulou still in the centre. And absolutely nowhere in there. Kovalyev came around, tried to clear the way for the line player, but Pushkin just flattened. 26-year-old who plays for Nevas and Petersburg, receives the ball, but Peterson just grabs him and takes him down. 8 minutes played, 5-4 to Sweden. Haven't played for a while, as I said earlier. Friendly match in 2007 in the Super Cup tournament, a friendly tournament organised by the German Federation. Sweden won. They played 2 years before that in the same tournament. Sweden won. The last match in formal competition between these 2 teams, that will be a corner throw-in. We've got an injured player, though, who took the deflection. But the last meeting in a major competition was at Euro 2004 in Slovenia, when Russia won 30-27. See this one again, and it's not the ball. He took Gorbok's arm squarely in his face on the follow-through, and Karlsson's gone down. Still getting treatment. Well, a couple of them now, after Zachrisson earlier. And, quite unintentional. Clearly there is a follow-through when you're shooting, and he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But he's going to know about that. He's going to hear bells ringing for a while. Tough Swedes up again. Karlsson, who plays for Kolding Copenhagen. He came second last year. Surprisingly beaten in the final, but they are leading the championship now in Denmark. So play resumes then. Russia on the attack. 1 goal down at the moment. Igropoulou caught from behind, that's 2 minutes. Peterson complains, but if you're going to catch him from behind, you are taking the risk. Berlin player complains. A shove in the back as well. There you go. Slapped his arm. When he got away, he just took the shirt instead. Best to wait till the end of the game to swap shirts. So a power play then for Russia. Igropoulou couldn't quite get it flat, and this time he has. Gorbok goes in. Igropoulou, they're trying to ram the front door down. Finally, they put it wide. Should have paid dividends. That was a poor shot in from the wing by Skopinsev. Zhitnikov picks up the loose ball, and they've got to get themselves organised again now, Russia. A bit untidy on that power play. Igropoulou. Oh, that's good play. The line player did beautifully well. Igropoulou scores. Two defenders held back. Look behind, though. And Pushkin doing his job to perfection. All square, 5-all. Sweden have Jonas Kallman coming in. Most experienced players. With 174 international, he's gone into the far side wing. Little handoff. It's taking a bit of time. No point rushing. You're short-handed. Coming up to 10 minutes played. Ekdal. Ekdal again. Tries to release the ball. Very happy to get a free throw. Let the clock run down even more. But good defending by Sergei Kudinov, the defense specialist. One of the new boys in the team from Astrakhan, and that's ball picked up inside the area. And, no complaint, it seems, from Evdokimov, who just nods to the referee and says, "Yep, I was." 10 minutes played, then it's all square in Aarhus, the second match of the day. Group 1 got underway yesterday in Herning. Wins for Hungary, Iceland, and of course, should we forget, Denmark beating Spain in a repeat of last year's World Championship final. And getting revenge, I should say, really, putting the ghost of Barcelona to rest so they can focus on the Euro. And we just need the floor mopped up here. For Russia's part, well, a fairly emphatic defeat in the opening match against France. They looked really out of sorts, but they came out fighting against Serbia. They won by 2, and then against Poland they lost by 2, which they knew would be enough to take them through. Still, they could in fact have lost by 3 if France beat Serbia later. They were losing by quite a bit more, and the Poles seemed to take their foot off the pedal. I guess for the Poles it benefited them that Russia rather than Serbia came through, since Serbia beat the Poles. So it all ended up very well for Poland, coming through with those 2 points. And for Russia, who at least squeaked in to the main round. And that was their main objective here at Euro 2014. That is not great news for Gorbok, because it's exactly the kind of landing that has given him the bad back in the first place against Serbia. Identical incident. It happened again against Poland. And then now he's gone down heavily, and he is squeaking a bit as he goes up. That was his second goal in the meantime, though. Swedes back at full strength. Switch back, that's nicely done. Oh, beautifully placed. Thought he'd put it in. In fact, a trick of the eye for me. I have to fix my glasses. 6-all. It was a nice setup there. Gorbok still moving around. He's coming off, not too surprisingly. You see all the strapping around his midriff as well. It's the lower left side. He's kind of kidney high. But he had the ice pack on the first time. That was remarkable. He came into play in the second match. The defence just opened up. Big gap down the middle. He could have taken a bus through there. And Igropoulou gets his fourth, and Anderson looks rather accusingly at his defence. Kulechov, just none of his passion. 12 minutes played and the Russians have edged ahead. Russia, who have a couple of tough games, this one here today, and then Croatia in a couple of days' time. They came off the defender. It'll be a throw-in from the corner. Sweden take on Poland. Oh, brilliant. Oh, off the post. Still with them, though. The ball picked up by Zachrisson, but an opportunity goes begging. We've got an injury, and this time it's Zhitnikov who's down. 24-year-old. Played 13 times for his country. Oh, there it is. He took a kick where it hurts. Oh. He's not planning on starting a family too soon. Need a bit of a rest. There's a bit of a discussion going on between the Swedish coaches, Lindgren and Olsen. Kulichov has an equally eminent assistant. Actually, we haven't mentioned him yet. Alexander Rimanov is on the bench. He played in the earlier generation, even than Kulichov in the Russian or the USSR team, as it then was. So they level again. Jakobsen. So Gorbov been given a bit of a rest. As Shelmenko comes in at the right back position. And Atman, who started in the centre, now moves into left back. And they've moved Zhitnikov. He appears to have recovered miraculously from that unfortunate kick earlier. And Sweden pushing up very deep. Line players got to wait there because there'll be opportunities if they want to push through too many steps. It's a cheap giveaway, and Sweden come away with the ball. Jakobsen loitering, Olbor right back. Good defending. Shelmenko in uncompromising mood, the 30-year-old who plays in Belarus for Minsk. So on the line goes Andreas Nilsson. Out and back in again for the player from Hamburg. Oh, what power! Class act that was. Ekdal Durets. Blink and you missed it. And Bogdanov did. So 1-goal lead back for Sweden. It was a fast goal, the last one. Not the fastest, though, that we've seen in the competition. That honour goes to Sweden's number 19. That's beautifully done. Broke through Zhitnikov. Almost in slow motion. His first goal of the game. Turns and Jernemur, the defence specialist, couldn't get near him. Lindgren was opening up the far post, but Zhitnikov didn't want it. He was going to stick with the near one. Jakobsen goes through and scores his third goal. He was what I was just saying. He's got the fastest shot in the preliminary round. Jakobsen, 113 kilometers an hour. Great play, number 19. His second European Championship, mind you. The Russians are no slouches. Both Atman and Shelmenko have managed 112 kilometer an hour shots. The left and right back on court just now in the preliminary stages. Zhitnikov, Pushkin out and back in again, trying to flat the defence, but Shelmenko instead fouls. He's under pressure, but fair, say the referees. And he's off again. As soon as you give him a meter's lead, he's away, and Jakobsen gets his fourth. Much that the goalkeeper could do about that after his team had let him come through. So 2 quick goals by Johan Jakobsen. And the lead that Russia had briefly earlier on has now disappeared, and the deep defence, and Kalman as ever is the player tasked with marking the front. Atman's shot deflected off a defender, throw in from the corner. Atman, who plays for Metalurg Skopje. Zhitnikov tries to go through, there's no way there. Industrious player, the Tchaikovsky Medvedi back player. Showing great composure. Atman. Shelmenko, and again a defender takes the sting off the ball. Nice pass out by Anderson. Finished off. And Nilsson on his feet, celebrating Kalman's goal. Of course, of playing at the front of the defence is that you're ready to streak out, and having conceded 3 goals without reply.
Батя с рывком, Бать там поставит заслон, Серый пойдет. Покажи в центр, пойди за спину, это сделаем. Еще мужики, чуть дольше сыграйте. Мы там до паса, есть полуситуация. Еще чуть дольше, спокойно прогоните и в обратную сторону пойдем. Мы рвем. Человек ничего не понимает, что он в центре делает.
So far, the mistakes have been punished by Sweden with 4 fast break goals. we know that they're quick. They stream out the moment they've taken possession, and the Russians are just not showing the same pace keeping up. Ola Lindgren leading the discussions on the other side of the court. High efficiency, 550. There thereabouts of those teams. Kuleshov, who's working hard to rebuild the team. It hasn't helped, of course, the injuries with Chiburin and Raskotsev, and then Dibirov declaring himself unavailable. Decision which some haven't liked, particularly in Russia, including the returning Russian women's team coach, Trefilov, who called him a traitor for that. That's maybe a bit hard. So after the team timeout, Russia resume, and they've just got to get their house in order. Gorbok is back on again. Hands off to Atman. Nicely done, but the shot's not so good. Goes straight down the middle. But we've got a 2-minute suspension. And a rather surprised look by Karlsson, but I think he's the one. They let play go on. It was an earlier incident, and he's looking bemused, the 32-year-old defence specialist. Looks to the table. It's really me, is it? He's going, you sure? Let's have a look and see. Well, there you go. Slapped him round the shoulder and neck. And fair to say that Karlsson is acutely aware that Gorbok has a bad back, I'm quite sure. And maybe just trying to manage the situation for him. So, enforced break for Sweden, and now it's a power play for Russia. But they are 3 goals behind and really need to use this well and stay focused, not let the line play go free as they are at the moment. It's looking untidy in defence. That's an attacking foul, is it? No. It's given as a penalty, and it looked for a second as if Zakrisson was going to go around and have a word with Kudinov. Bogdanov intervened very quickly to take him away, and it's a penalty. Decision, obviously, because Kudinov's still just in motion. So, Bogdanov, he's saved one so far. Ekberg. And scores! So Ekberg comes on for the penalty, goes straight off. Ekberg, who was top scorer at the London Olympic Games with 50 goals, but here, I'm afraid, not having such a level of success. He's only scored 3 penalties, in fact, in the entire competition. Had 3 open play shots and missed all of them. The net result is that, for the moment at least, Zakrisson seems to be having the lion's share of the play. So with the score now 4 goals up for Sweden, the Russians have mismanaged their power play somewhat. Throw. So 4 minutes now since their last goal, Russia. It's getting worse now. 5 without reply. Jonas Laholm now. 31-year-old veteran of 200 internationals for Sweden, 628 goals. And that's why he racks them up. Finally, right at the end of the power play, Russia get one, courtesy of Igor Evdokimov. That brings to an end a 5-minute spell with no goals for Russia. Off the post, and it stays out. No one touched it on the way, so it'll be a Russian ball. So from 7-6 in this match to Russia after 12 minutes, 20 minutes in, and now it's Sweden who lead 13-8. 7-1 exchange. Gorbok going straight into Jernemur, and it's the Swedish giant who comes off worse. none the worse for it as Kalman lines up at the front again. So Gorbok at left back again, but Atman switches, looks for the line, but he's too closely marked. That's well covered. More like it. Gorbok, third goal. He's holding his back though as he wheels around. I suspect that, well, you can see he's braced up anyway, but he is probably on painkillers. And a change of goalkeeper for Sweden. Andersson comes off and in goes Johan Sjöstrand, 26-year-old who plays for Barcelona. 75 internationals for the new Swedish keeper. Into the wing, good angle. Zachrisson, second of the game for the 23-year-old. Nicely done. Who's a carpenter by training. Carve you a nice goal if you wanted one in wood rather than metal. He'd prefer the old ones. 14-10. Russians have managed to get into double figures here. Gorbok. Atman loitering, Shelmenko. Goes out of play, unlucky for Zachrisson. Just can't get their crossovers going for obvious reasons now, with Kalman spoiling their party at the front, and ends up with a long-range shot and almost casual about it. Sjöstrand barely moving as Gorbok gets his fourth goal. Sweden though take the quick throw off again. It's under pressure. It'll be a free throw for the foul on Jonas Laholm. Plays for PIK Szeged in Hungary. He's played in Barcelona before and then also in Denmark for Aalborg. So Kulichov. His team still just about hanging in there. They've got themselves scoring again, but I'm afraid that 5-0 hasn't done them much good. They too defending 5-1 with the enterprising Skopinsev at the front. And the captain, Kovalyev, tempted to drift out, and in the end he left Shelmenko trying to cover the wing. Nice height, came off the defender, and it goes out for a throw-in from the corner, and possession stays with Sweden. Sweden qualified for the European Championships, top of Group 5, ahead of Poland, who went through with them, and then the Netherlands and Ukraine, who miss out. Good way through, and the defence falling apart, two players colliding. Evdokimov, who's already got a dodgy left ankle, collides with Shelmenko. With the line player, in fact, and leaves the way open for Nilsson, the Ryan player, to get his first goal. And, in fact, it is Evdokimov collides with his own. Shelmenko had been sent flying. There he is. Evdokimov needs to keep an eye out because he hurt his left ankle as well in the Serbia match. Tried to come back on again, then hobbled off. Injury problems mounting for Kulichov. 15-11. Is that the Russians just don't have that strength in depth at the back at the moment in this game. They're falling back each time as Sjöstrand makes a great save from the long-range shot. They are relying heavily on Atman and Gorbok. Right up in the corner. Bogdanov, in spite of his 1.97 m, can do nothing, and Jakobsen gets his fifth. Took off straight away, needed a little extra shuffle. That meant also reading the arm well, and Bogdanov didn't do that. There he is. The man with the fastest arm in the West. It's going to be a free throw. Foul on Atman. Jernemur just grabs him and heaves him over. Atman, no match for the 106 kilos of Jernemur, the 37-year-old. He used to play for Barcelona, now back home in Lugi. And I rather thought that the whistle sounded like a 2-minute. He was doing his best to not look. But I'm afraid that doesn't work. They do eventually find you. They don't just give up. There's a quick shot of Alexander Rimanov on the bench. So a power play for Russia. They didn't use the last one particularly well. Conceded 2 before scoring right at the back, but Igropoulou is back. after Sjöstrand, not a great one, and the ball comes out of the area eventually, picked up by Kalman. So Russia revert back to the trio that they started with, and as I said, Shelmenko didn't quite work. Zhitnikov did okay for a while, then he went quiet again, so they just need a little bit more enterprise there. How they could do with Rasvortsev just now. So Klechov keeps on going back to his formation with Gorbok, Atman and Igropoulou. Atman, rather Gorbok is getting a break in defence. Little windmill feint. Jakobsen goes flying though. Gets a free throw. 57 goals in the Danish league, Jakobsen. The more experienced players. 68 internationals for Sweden. So Janimir, still a minute to go on his suspension. So very experienced with 105 internationals and just 5 goals, emphasising his solely defensive role. At the moment, the Swedish fans still looking happy. Karlsson tries to cut back. The winger, Zacharisson's gone in on the line. Well, the power comes in at both sides. Lukas Karlsson this time, another Danish-based player from Kolding, Copenhagen. And no one went up in defence. So with 5 minutes remaining in the first half, it's a 6-goal lead now for Sweden, biggest yet. Oh, terrible pass given away. Sweden breaking out. Kalman's got options left or right. He goes left in the end, and it's Tobias Karlsson, the defence specialist, who scores. Plies his trade for Flensburg in Germany, lying second in the Bundesliga. Beats Levchin, who's replaced Bogdanov in goal, but I'm afraid it's not turning the tide much. And so another timeout for Kulechov. Second one of the game for the Russians. You allowed 3 in total. One either side of the half. One's a floater. Can use it in either half, but not 2 in the last 5 minutes. 4 turnovers now for Russia, and they're just ramping up. 6 fast break goals for the Swedes, who are exploiting every mistake that the Russians are making. Russia's shot efficiency unchanged since last time, 50%, but Sweden's getting better at 62. Johan Jakobsen has scored 5. He's been a bit expensive himself by his own standards, 5 for 10. And he's having one of those championships, Johan Jakobsen. When he's good, he's brilliant. But here in Denmark, coming into this game, 5 goals from 17 attempts for the Swedish number 19. 99% success rate, very, very low. Here today he's managed to improve that somewhat. He's on 4.5 minutes remaining then. Team timeout's over and Sweden will be back to full strength very shortly. It's not made any difference as they continue relentlessly to score past the Russians. Atman, covered well by Sjöstrand. The ball picked out by Zacharissson. They were about to play, they thought they just lost possession for being inside. 3rd save for Sjöstrand out of 4. Read it well, came across and covered the near post. Nice play by the Barcelona keeper. Atman saves again. None from 3 for Atman. Skopin the same, I'm afraid. 0 from 3 at the moment. Only Igropoulou and Gorbok are doing well. Igropoulou 4 from 5 and Gorbok has scored 4 from 6. And it's just putting more and more pressure on them, really, as the Swedes can focus the defence in front of them. So 7 goals the lead, and it's just growing and growing here. Free throw. Levchin, goalkeeper, tries to stay on his toes at the back. Big keeper, 198. Laholm goes in. Well, he's definitely improving his percentages today. Jakobsen, goal number 6. Scored more today than he has in 3 opening games. Free throw for Russia. 8-goal deficit. This game is fast running away from the Russians. They've got to dig deep to stop this become a complete rout in the second half. Igropoulou looking for the line. There's absolutely no one there, but that said, Lepchin, or Pushkin rather, was just yanked out of the way. Lukas Karlsson looks somewhat unconcerned by the word from the Latvian referee. Did well, mind you. Pushkin's 107 kilos. He's obviously been exercising in the weight room. Atman, very laboured pass by Gorbok, tries a shot himself. That came off a defender. But may have touched Karlsson on the way out. And it's a throw-in from the corner. Can't really go wrong with that call, really, can you? Two Karlssons, one at number 1 and one at number 2. And that last one. Oh, and that's a little bit more tasty. Pushkin again. Newcomer to the team from Neva St. Petersburg with just 4 internationals, and it's another 2-minute suspension for Tobias Karlsson. That's his second. And this is why. He's trying to take his shirt off him, I think. Tried it earlier. I think the answer's no. I think he's Pushkin as well. Well, I'm afraid it doesn't make a huge amount of difference when Russia get the power play, because they've been unable to score particularly effectively, even when they've had the extra player. Sweden very fluid in defence, and when they do get through, Sjöstrand and then Andersson have been there. Igropoulou scores. 5th goal for him. Ian Gorbok trying to pull Russia along single-handed, scoring 9 of Russia's 12 goals. Sweden will be back to full strength just before half-time. We're into the last 2 minutes now. Kalman drops in on the line. Zacharisson's gone there as well. Focusing down the centre. Jakobsen had initially gone into the wing, comes around now. A long-range shot by Jakobsen, this time goes way over the crossbar. Bit of pace. He just stops Atman, Igropoulou. Now Zhitnikov has come on in place of Gorbok. The hard-working left-back a bit of a break as Staffan Olsson is up, urging his team on. Keep the legs going, lots of lateral movement as the wingers go very deep to spread the defence. It's worked. Zhitnikov gets his second. Skopintsev and Kovalyev right in the wings. Igropoulou sucks in the 2 defenders and then releases the 24-year-old. Even Sjöstrand couldn't stop that one. So good play by Zhitnikov, who plays for the Russian champions Tchaikovsky Medvedi. Clock's been stopped meanwhile here. Just attending to the court. Tchaikovsky Medvedi still lead this year, although their team completely different, got into financial difficulty, and there's an absolute drain of players, including Chiburin, Rasportsev and Dibirov, all heading off to Macedonia to play for Vardar Skopje. But still they hang on just ahead of Permsky Medvedi. So we're well into the last minute. And off to Lahol. No way through, 3 defenders on him, pushing him wide. Can't get the shot in there, but he's got the free throw anyway, and that runs the clock down. And team timeout called by Sweden, and why not? They've got that spare team timeout. Haven't used any yet. Compared to Russia's 2 already in the bag. So it was Ola Lindgren last time. This time it's Staffan Olsson who steps in for a talk. Staffan Olsson's kind of the motivator. He's one who jumps up and down. He's never got notes. It's all passion. It's all, and then they all listen to him. He's been there. He's done it. So's Lindgren. European and world champions. They've won them. The one title, of course, it's always escaped Sweden to their frustration. Is the Olympic title. They've been 4 times European and 4 times world champion, but the Olympic medal eludes them. They lost their 4th Olympic final in London on that occasion to France. Bad luck. But Staffan Olsson then the passionate one, and Ola Lindgren, he's the one with the stats. He always comes out with his notes. He's the analytical member of the duo. Well, there's Igropoulou and some of his goals so far in the first half. The industrious right back, he scored 5 times. But still, his team trail behind a ruthless Swedish side. Passive play being won by the referee. Shot needed. Looking for the line play. There was absolutely no one there. Not read at all. So Russia come back. Sweden though at full strength as Jeremur comes in on the line. They revert back to the 5-1 defense. Kalman at the front. 7 seconds. Someone needs to take a shot. Instead, they've given it away. Igropoulou presses a self-destruct button and pays the price as Fredrik Petersen scores his second. Just when they needed a little bit of focus and a little bit of attention. It's not easy, as if Kalman had to run out to catch the ball. He just passed it straight into him. So Kulechov looks up and rues somewhat that mistake by Igropoulou. And so at half-time, Sweden 20, Russia 13. Igropoulou has really mixed the brilliant with the not so brilliant in this game, with a few giveaways from the veteran Russian player. And Sweden have methodically gone through this half. 74% of their attacks resulting in goals, 63% of their shots, compared to only half of Russia's attack resulting in goals, 48% on their shooting. But it's 4 2-minute suspensions for Sweden have made no difference at all as Russia suffer 5 turnovers and fast breaks galore. Jakobsen top scoring for Sweden with 6, while Igropoulou the best of the Russians with 4, followed by Gorbok on 4, though his back does appear to be troubling him at this stage. And a 5-0 exchange early on for the Russians caused them all kinds of grief, I'm afraid, and they haven't been able to catch up. It's going down the middle, nothing on the wing, nothing at left back, and they've missed their only 2 fast breaks, although they have scored a couple of goals straight from the throw-off and 1 penalty to boot. Well, for Sweden, well, it's 6 meters and then the back players launching in, but 7 fast breaks from 7, plus the 1 penalty. And Russia very much on the back foot here in Aarhus in Group 2 of the main round. Well, we'll take a short break as we watch the ratios here. We'll be back in just a few moments for the second half. We'll see you then.
Energy Arena in Aarhus. Some very pensive-looking Russian players sitting on the bench while Stefan Olsson paces around. Half-time here then in this second match in the main round in Group 2. And I'm afraid it's all gone terribly wrong for Russia, who trail 20-13 to the Olympic silver medalist Sweden. It was fine until midway through the first half, 8-all at 15 minutes, but then I'm afraid the Johan Jakobsen show got underway. And the number 19 for Sweden has scored 6, albeit from 12 attempts. Still expensive, as he has been throughout the competition, with only a 29% success rate until today, but that's improved, and Bogdanov and Levchin have been able to do precious little in goal. There's Andersson, who started off, got replaced by Sjöstrand. Although he'd made 4 saves until then, and then the Russians had a bit of a run to get themselves level. But for the moment, the Russians are looking as if they're a little bit out of their depth in this game.
Whilst in Group 1, you may say that Denmark and Spain still look favourites to go through to the semi-finals. This group, well, I suspect it's going to be somewhere between France, Croatia and Sweden battling it out for the top 2 spots. And that goes, I'm afraid, through pulling aside the other opposition on the way, Russia, and then in 2 days' time for Sweden it'll be Poland before they face up to France on Wednesday, and that could be the crucial game, depending, of course, on how tonight's match goes between the traditional rivals, France and Croatia. There's Igropoulou, 5 goals so far for Russia, but also 2 turnovers, I'm afraid, where he's just gifted the ball, and the 7 fast breaks from Sweden, ruthlessly punishing every mistake by the Russians. And Järnemö and his teammates holding solid in defence, with Kalman at the front of a 5-1 defence that's totally unsettled the Russian team, which has one of the least experienced squads here, with an average of just 37 caps per player. Sweden on 80. That's despite, of course, not bringing with them Kim Andersson, their captain and right back, who scored 704 goals for his country in 193 appearances. So we're just about ready for the second half as Sjöstrand goes back in goal. Andersson will put his top back on and have a rest. Russia waits for the buzzer. So here we go then. Atman throws off for Russia, trailed by 7 here in Aalborg. Atman 0 goals from 3, and Skopinsev, the left winger, 0 from 3 as well. They need to sort that out, because when they are having the chances, they're not scoring them. That said, the Swedes are making it very difficult, even with their shooting opportunities. Igropoulou needed to race just a little earlier. He took off late. They had an overlap situation if he'd just gone straight in. But good defending once more by Sweden. Gorbok looking for Atman on the line, couldn't get there, and the ball's lobbed out by Carlson, and the break is on. Zachrisson. Oh! Saved this time by Levchin. 39-year-old keeper. Plays for Permsky Medvedi. Kulichov happy. She makes a rare save. The Russian keepers between them making 4 saves only so far. 17% save rate. Compare that with the 35% for Sweden. Came off a defender, and again well blocked. And Gorbok not getting anything like the height that you normally expect from him on his jump shots, and his back visibly troubling him. Kovalyev, the captain, puts the ball back in play. One of the long-standing veterans of the team. That's in. Sjöstrand, close but not close enough. Rather rueful smile from him. And that's the first goal for Atman. He got his hand to it, lobbed it back up into his own goal. And so 26-year-old who plays for Metalurg Skopje finally gets himself going. He's got a good shot on him when he wants, Atman. Best one clocked at 112 kilometers an hour. Russia then remain with this 5-1 defense that they were trying early on, very deep, with Skopinsev at the front. Nice little windmill feint to get past, but another save by Levchin.
to make sure that they haven't come out thinking this match is won and take their foot off the gas. A quick change needed in defence, and Jernemur races back in for Karlsson, who sprinted off while the free throw was being teed up by Russia. No way around. Good defence again, and Pushkin just can't break away. Zacharyson holding his own. Just 1.79 m, the winger, so centre of gravity very low, which does actually make it quite difficult if he just grabs you. That's more like it. Igropoulou with his 6th. Russian top scorer in the team. Surpassed the 500 goal mark in his national team career, in his 108 internationals. Somewhere ahead of the next best, which is the winger Kovalyev, on 307 goals for his 125 appearances. Ekdal all the way through. Well, that was a bit of a stroll. Defense just didn't latch on, and Atman again. Much better start by Russia. Sjöstrand left completely stranded. No pun intended. So 3-1 exchange. It's earlier brought to an end because the second 15 minutes of the first half, it was 12-5 to Sweden, with a string of fast breaks. Ekdal cuts towards the middle. Karlsson tries to come around. He's still waiting. To Karlsson, saved by Levchin. Not a great shot, and they're giving some easy ones away to the Russians. Igropoulou dummies the pass and puts it under the leg of Sjöstrand. 7th goal. All of a sudden, from what looked like a stroll in the park, it's only 4 goals in it. And whatever Kuleshov said, or maybe what Lindgren and Olsen didn't say at half-time, to remind his team to stay focused, or their team. But for the moment, the Russians are just leading the way as Swedes look a little stodgy, but the luck goes their way. And Johan Jakobsson shoots, and a heavy deflection as Levchin goes the wrong way. Igropoulou. Oh dear, and another turnover by him, and it's going to be costly. The break is on, and luckily for Russia, a poor pass to Karlsson means that Russia are let off the hook. Nearly taken away, though, from them. Atman not being particularly cautious. Maybe some of his teammates should have warned him. 5 minutes played then, 22-17. 4-2 to Russia so far in this second half. Bit of a volleyball jump there, 2-footed from Gorbok. Maybe hoping that by landing 2-footed he'll take some of the pressure, the jarring up through his spine with his bad bat away. And again, well blocked by the Swedish defence. Atman this time goes down. A bit of a shove on the way through by Jonas Kalman, who came in to help from the side. It's not for the faint-hearted handball, that's for sure. Joining in, Kuleshov is clapping, getting in the mood. I think it was meant for you, Oleg. Igropoulou, big gap. He's really up for it now. 28-year-old from Fuchs Berlin. Maybe just want to show some of his teammates here in the opposing team today what he can do. Zacharyson and Frederik Petersen also play for Fuchs Berlin, as done Jesper Nielsen. Fine player that hasn't come on yet for Sweden. Still suspect at the end of this they'll have the bragging rights, but there you go. Lukas Karlsson, oh, poor shot. The ball's still loose though, and Laholm. Pushkin inside the area, they say, but They were right there to see it, the referees. You can't really argue with that. Kalman goes in on the line. The ball's put across. That's much better blocking. Gorbok gets in the way of Jakobsen. Karlsson back to Jakobsen. They're wanting the wingers to come around. Zacharisson does, but he goes straight back again, looking for that. Surely that was a foul. Pushkin. And has he got himself a 2-minute suspension? Just grab the shirt, basically, and clear the way. There you go. And, poor old Andreas Nilsson goes flying, and Pushkin goes off for an enforced break. Time to put the kettle on. It's not exactly easy to shift around either, Andreas Nilsson, 102 kilos, but I guess Pushkin's got a 4 on him. So it forces the Russians back into a 5-0 defence. And now the space will be there for the shooting, but instead of shooting, he went looking for the line that wasn't there, and instead, the Russians have a break. In the first half, it was Russians who were wasting their power play situations. Now it's Sweden. 8 goals, 9 goals, in fact, for Igropulo. 10 attempts. Sharp contrast to his 48% success rate coming into this game. It's a penalty. Be no complaints there. Lukas Karlsson, the playmaker from Kolding Copenhagen, gets his arm pulled as he's going through, and if anything, lucky that that wasn't a 2-minute suspension. Could have been a double. Home on the bench, 31-year-old from Szeged in Hungary. As Levchin faces up to Ekberg. And again, Ekberg comes off best. 2 from 2 so far for his only appearances in the game. Top scorer from the London Olympics. Gone at the heady days 2 years ago. Tracksuit top back on again. Ekberg, who plays for German powerhouse Kiel. Zhitnikov thought about it, just hesitated at the last, the 24-year-old. Gorbok. Igropulo badly timed again. This time he was going too early, and as he did in the first half, no options there, and just thinks, well, there's nothing for it, just have to blast it, and it comes off again. 2-1 to Russia, while they're short-handed. 20 seconds to go on the power play for Sweden. 3 goals in it only now here in Aarhus. Ekdal. There's no urgency about the Swedes, even though they've got the extra player. In the end, they look for the simple play, and that does work, though. Scored by Andreas Nilsson, his second. Gorbok, once the ball was past him, he was beaten. Gorbok, there was absolutely nothing he could do short of giving away a penalty. So Stefan Olsson, looks like he's warming up to go on. Anyone got a spare shirt? So Pushkin's back on again, and the power play disappears with a 2-2 exchange for the last 2 minutes. Disappointing for Sweden. Atman looking for the line. They're both inside the area. Gorbok! That's an attacking foul. Ekdal. Karlsson speeds down the wing. Ekdal, nice windmill feint to go through. Good save by Levchin. Counts for nothing, though. The whistle's already gone. Kulechov still remonstrating with the referees on that one. And, Renar Lisic does his best to ignore him. Go through, looking for the wing. Untidy, he's still on the wing, but that's a free throw. It's good defending by the Russians, but little friendly word of warning from the referee for Sergei Gorbok. He's really worried, isn't he? He just glanced at it and goes, yeah, whatever. 4 goals in it. We're past the 10-minute mark in this second half. Igropulo, the wing, huge gap. And he wasn't going to miss him there. Kovalyev got sucked out. What he was doing out there, I have no idea. But Kalman gifted relatively comfortable shot to the 32-year-old former Atletico Madrid player. In this European Championships 2 years ago, Kalman he needed a heart operation for an irregular rhythm. It's quite remarkable that he continues to play at this level. Really a fine athlete and a great guy too. Kovalyev. Gorbok. Well, if you want to try this at home, you can do that. Just go outside in your garden and just run straight into a brick wall on the side of the garage, and you'll have the same effect. But Atman bounces up as if he's got springs in his shirt. 5-goal lead then, and we've got a yellow card on the bench, and there's a really blood wound there on Gorbok, on Atman rather, on that last one. Just need to get it bandaged up before he can go back on again. That's a 2-minute job, it won't take long. I've got a feeling that it's Ola Lindgren, who's the Swedish coach, who's picked up a yellow card. One opinion too many for the Latvian referees. So Igropulo leading the charge back for Russia, the veteran right back, former player with Tchaikovsky, Medvedi and then Barcelona, on 10 goals out of 20 for his team. And a much better looking effort here in the second half. They're still 7-5 up in this half and within striking distance, although Sweden are still looking as if they're comfortable. Zhitnikov, the 24-year-old. 13 internationals to his name before coming in here, and the frustration at the back, you can see it on the face of Tobias Karlsson. Exchange of words with Igropulo. So still just that 4-goal deficit. They were 7 up at half-time, Sweden. Still on 61% success rate with their shooting, so that's not much changed. Russians have gone from 50 to 55%. Patrick Falgren has been brought in now into the centre in the attack for Sweden, the number 21, newcomer to the team, playing in his first major competition for Sweden. The ball's turned over. Back come Russia. Gorbok switches back again. Poor pass. And it just breaks the attack down, and Zhitnikov has to go back and collect it. Well, patience is what they need. There's plenty of time for the Russians to come back as Anderson appears to be warming up, ready to go back on again. Sjöstrand statistics dropping a little, 4 from 14. 21 rather, percent save rate. He may be about to be substituted. Igropulo breaks through. You may have seen Anderson warming up and is trying to show the coach that he's okay to stay on. Meanwhile, Kulichov, the frustration as another chance goes begging. There's certainly more Swedish supporters in the arena than Russian, and they're doing their best to cheer them on, and I suspect that some of the neutrals here in Denmark are supporting their Scandinavian neighbours. Separated just by a bridge at the narrowest point. Little handoff by Falgren, who's just come back on again. Falgren into the wing, that's nice. Oh, he fumbled it. And the ball's gone out now, and looking for support. Kovalyev doesn't break away enough, he does now. Igropulo, and again, a good save by Sjöstrand. He's trying to get the message to Anderson. Put your top back on again, I haven't finished. Oh, good save at the other end by Levchin, it's still in play. Trying to put a lot of spin on. Kulichov ends up with the ball on the bench. And a throw in. Well, he's doing well, Levchin, in the second half. Good save there. Helps when you're 1.98 m and your arms are just about as long. And there's Sjöstrand at the other end. Kovalyev under the leg, under the leg. Well, Anderson cheers on. His teammate Sjöstrand. Zhitnikov, Igropulo. Hands off to Zhitnikov, he's free, gives it back to Igropulo, but he's got no momentum because he hasn't gone back, but again, brute force from the 1.90 m right back. 11 goals for Igropulo, and Sjöstrand looks disgusted. Second time out for Sweden. 3 goals in it. Well, at half-time, Sweden were coasting after a 15-minute spell when they outscored the Russians 12-5, and Russia just looked to be sinking without a trace. All the turnovers, the fast breaks. But they've learnt their lesson. There's only been 1 fast break in the second half for Sweden, and they missed that one. Turnovers there, that's still a relic really from the first half, where there's a huge improvement. And in fact, if anything, there are more turnovers now being suffered by Sweden than by the Russians. Staffan Olsson keeping it calm this time.
То, что сейчас касается быстрого центра, мы сразу побежим с линии. Тобой побежим. Все там через центр.
123 times for Russia.
Побежим с линейным. И посмотрите эту сторону, там Серега поможет по левой стороне. Если сейчас все останутся 5-1, вот этот все то же самое перестроение. Перестроился, раз Серега вошел, раз ты после выш прям войди, выскакивай. Выскочил. И Саня, останешься в линии. Уйди чуть-чуть под край. Оставь житу одного. Все. Или Леха, уйди под край, оставь житу одного. Ты получишь мяч, полезь. Грек параллельно пойдет за спину. Все, давай.
9-5 to Russia in this half. It's a completely transformed part. Why didn't he pass to the wing straight away? It had to bounce almost straight out of his hand. Go to the winger. Just by holding it for those few seconds was enough to spoil the move. Nearly stolen by Shishkarev. Free throw. The last 2 meetings between these teams, albeit a long time back, very different looking teams in those days, 2007-2005, resulted in Swedish wins. Fast break is on, Igropoulou fouled. It's taken quickly, but not from the right place, and the Latvian referee said, bring the ball back. Falgren caught in possession. 28-year-old who plays for Melsungen in Germany, 26 caps for Sweden. So Gorbok tries to go through Shishkarev. It's a free throw. He's working hard. Zhitnikov, I beg your pardon, the 24-year-old. Was in the World Championship squad last year in Spain, but really didn't get to see too much of the court. Of course, in those days, Raskoltsev was still around. He's had to pick up the slack for the missing left back. He's also a strong defender, and I have to say, 24-year-old for Russia, number 89, I think has been one of their best players in the competition. A real hope for the future. All the way through, lovely! 4th goal for him. Sudden acceleration. He's actually got a face that belies his 24 years. Looks a lot younger than that. Good play by Polyakov, who's come in on the line. He's another one of the debutants for Russia. And finally, Sjöstrand is taken off, and Anderson goes in. And they're showing him with 4 saves, Sjöstrand, on the official stats. I think that's doing him a disservice. He's had a few more than that. Oh, good save by Levchin, and suddenly Jakobsen's fallen back into his bad old ways, and his shooting percentage is dropping back down again. Not a particularly well-framed shot. Levchin didn't have to move his feet at all to reach out to that. And Jakobsen, 7 from 14. For the line, Igropoulou goes for the second attempt, but Polyakov too closely marked. 28 years of age, Polyakov, plays for Astrakhan. Hadn't played for Russia before the European Championships, when Mikhail Chipurin was injured, damaged his knee, and had to look around for someone to cover and work alongside Pushkin and Evdokimov. Goes begging. Sweden have possession back again. Just 2 goals in it, and it would be quite a surprise if the Russians were to steal this one, I have to say. Levchin with another save, and once more it's Johan Jakobsen, the Aalborg back player, who fails. And the 39-year-old keeper with 8 saves now and a 47% success rate. The 2 goalkeepers for Russia who've been living in the shadow of Kostigov and Grams for so long, now getting their chance here. Bogdanov has struggled a little, in fairness, in the competition, but Levchin in goal now. 33% save rate, doing well. So he's off for the moment, Jakobsen, but is it just the defensive substitution? Looking for the line, but that's intercepted comfortably by Karlsson. Look for the break, and Anderson decides, well, I'll move it up fast if you won't. Ekdal. Attacking foul, Igropoulou gets in front of him, and under him for that matter. Back out they come, Igropoulou back up like a spring. Looking for the wing, but that came off a foot, but it's given us a throw in anyway. And Polyakov is busy having a conversation and not paying attention to Atman, who was trying to move things along just a little bit faster. Igropoulou. Shipnikov goes to the line, looking for the line the other way. Brilliant! They're within 1. Well, what a turnaround, Kulichov's team. Saved. It's given us a free throw. Well, Polyakov, with his first goal, not only of the game, but in the competition, he's not been used at all, the number 4. Inspired choice by Kulichov just to mix it on the line. And suddenly, Russia look as if they might spoil Sweden's party. 11-5, Russia are outscoring Sweden. Surely now it's a penalty. The foul on Nilsson. Gorbok looks surprised, and that's not going to help either. So, have a look again. Passes to the line. Well, he was inside the area, and he pushes him. He impedes Nilsson. So, Levchin. As we wait for the arrival of Niklas Ekberg, Kiel winger. His sole duties today appearing to be from the 7-meter line. 3rd penalty for him. Oh, and it's saved, and Levchin, another fabulous block. And with less than 10 minutes remaining, the match stays nicely poised, try to put it through his legs. He just managed to drop his knee onto the ball. Well, what a Jekyll and Hyde performance. Both teams now scoring at about 54%. Feeling bold enough there to take the shot on the far wing. There was a bit of space for it. Gorbok on the right back position. Shelmenko's coming in the middle as Igropoulou takes a well-earned break. Maybe sparing him for a charge right at the end. Free throw again. Now, they're certainly preferring the 6-0 defence to the 5-1 that was played earlier on, the Russians. Yenemir just sits on Polyakov and gets a 2-minute suspension. Second one of the game for the defence specialist. So, Russia with a power play, 1 in. Putting him down. Only lets go once he saw that Polyakov is falling. Former Barcelona man gets another enforced break on the bench, and the tension is mounting. Sweden have managed just 5 goals in 21 minutes. Would you have believed that at half-time? Did they come out too confident? Their defence is certainly a little more haphazard in this half. It's less cohesive, and their attacks lacking in sharpness, as Jakobsen falls back into his old ways in his expensive shooting. Atman, Igropoulou's back on again for the power play. Looking for the line, there's a shove in the back. And that's going to be a free throw. Ekdal can't complain there. Russia 4 goals without reply. been 11 minutes since Sweden last scored as well. Well, they conceded those 4 goals. And the tails are up, and the Russians off the foot again as he was looking to go through. I think it's for Zachrisson. Russia, just as they did against Serbia, just getting stuck in and pulling their way in slowly. It's not pretty, but it's effective and the level. Passive play was being called. 8 minutes remaining, and Atman with his 3rd goal has pulled them level from 7 goals down at half-time. 105 kilometers an hour, the shot by Atman, and Andersson could only punch it up into his own goal. Sweden still short-handed. Zachrisson's gone in on the line. Peterson wants to go in as well. Trying to put the block on for the move to go around the back, but the ball never reached Lukas Karlsson. It's a free throw. Good defending by Zhitnikov. Well, at half-time, if you thought this is a foregone conclusion, we just need to get this match over and see France play Croatia, you didn't know you had this coming, did you? Yennemer still on the bench. And still no way through for Jakobsson. The moves earlier were nice moves in the first half. They were spraying it very wide with some crossovers, getting in behind the front defender. Now it's down to 1 or 2 man plays. They've stolen the ball. Russia again on the attack. They've got a power play for another 17 seconds. Gets told to stay on, Shelmenko, go back. Get a goal before they get back to full strength. They have! It's that 24-year-old Zhitnikov. 6 goals without reply. And Sweden are on the rack. Kulechov can barely believe it. He's pumped up. Sweden stuck on 5 goals only in the second half after 23 minutes. Ola Lindgren trying to stay calm about it as he gets out his board. But Sweden lacking any kind of creativity. The shot effectiveness has switched over. Russia now outperforming Sweden from a very low point around the 40% in the first half, and they have transformed themselves in the half-time break. Russia, helped no doubt by the 5 2-minute suspensions, of course, but they are just showing more creativity, and a lot of that is down to Igropoulou scoring 11, but really working for the team. 3 assists as well, and Levchin, well, let's not forget him, the goalkeeper saving a penalty amongst his 9 saves from 18 shots. Well, a few more minutes to concentrate and they could pull off another big shock here at Euro 2014 in Denmark. Long range shot, he's through. So Jakobsson again gets picked off early. Pushkin seemed to catch him quite high on the way around Jakobsson. And, I just love the way that Skopinsev has gone across and grabbed his shirt. Well, Pushkin's gone off, and it looked like a very high hand as he came in. And so a chance maybe for Sweden to try and get back in now and level things up. Johan Jakobsson, who plays in Aalborg, just not far north from where we are now. What an incredible turnaround, 13 goals to 5, and that's a penalty defending inside the area. Given away by Shelmenko. See it again, and Ekdal drives in quickly, the 24-year-old, and Levchin turns to the referee and goes, what for? But, well, he's defending in the area, that's what for. And a yellow card on the bench for the assistant coach, Rimanov. But I think it was the right call by the Latvian referee. So can he save another one? Petersen's going to have a go now. He's scored 4 from 6 in the competition so far. No mistake, and they needed that. They really needed that. After going 13 minutes without scoring, finally Sweden get themselves up and running again. It's taken a power play to do it. So interesting combination as Shelmenko, the right back, goes in on the wing. He's going to go in on the line now. He's a bigger player to work it there, and there's a bit of a tussle going on, which needs a bit of mopping up. And I think that Zhitnikov got involved in a fray with Kellman, no harm done. And the Swedish fans looking a little bit anxious here. Sweden showing frailties on the day. Maybe they were overconfident at half-time and didn't come out focused enough. They've certainly never got the machinery going here in the second half. Igropulo, and that's a 2-minute suspension now. Is it Karlsson? It is. It's a red card for the defence specialist. His third 2-minute suspension. He got a straight red against Croatia. Luckily for him, not one that was reportable, so he was allowed to play today, but he's got another one today. This time with 3 2-minute suspensions, he needs to leave the bench. And Sweden will play out the last 5 minutes and 25 seconds without the captain. He looks absolutely frustrated as he goes to sit behind the goal. Eventually he's told, you can't go there, that's too close, go up and sit in the bleachers. Both teams then short-handed. That helps the Russians. Shelmenko. Ooh, in the face. Lucky let-off there for Johan Jakobsson, who seemed to catch Atman. Goes through. Does he know? He didn't expect it's the arm. The replay shows. Oh, stolen! Chance for Sweden. They looked so tentative on the breakdown in the first half. These fast breaks were bread and butter. They were just putting them away left, right and centre. Now they look hesitant every time they take the ball up. We're into the last 5 minutes. Karlsson's game is over, but can his teammates pull it back? They've got one back. So 2 quick goals, and they lead again. Ekdal, the scorer, cheers, I think, of relief as much as anything else from the crowd, and not least from the captain. Ekdal, who played for Nantes in France until moving to Germany. Zhitnikov into the line, beautiful. Well, it works, 2 right backs, does work for Kulechov. Shelmenko cuts in from behind, jumps and shoots before landing again. It's all square again, 4 minutes to go. And now a power play situation for the Russians, while Sweden still short-handed for 30 seconds. Yenemur off, getting a breather, waiting for his defensive duties, and Kulechov looking very calm and collected, but I'm sure inside his shirt that heart's pumping away. 4 minutes away from what would be a fantastic result to add to the victory over Serbia for a young Russian side who are very much rebuilding for the future. Good defense, got a ball through the keeper this time. Karlsson, his third. Side netting, oh, free throw. He went for the penalty, I'm sure the referee did. He pointed to the 7 metre. The referee at the back just put his arm up for the free throw. And as he walked forwards, his arm went from down to up in the air. And it's a 9 metre only. Atman looks on with a bit of a smile, not too impressed though. 3 minutes to go, and the chance of Sweden in the crowd. Igropulo back in the fray. Zhitnikov! Oh, it's off the post! Oh, a lucky break for Sweden. Oh, and Rimanov behind, his arms out. Okay. What more do we have to do? We just need a bit of luck. It was so well played, and you're still cursing at the other end, Zhitnikov. Sweden hanging on by the skin of their teeth, completely outplayed in the second half. 14-8 the scoreline in the second half to Russia, but somehow they've just managed to get the engine running in time to take the lead late on here. Is it going to be heartbreak for the Bears? Oh, the ball goes straight through. Pushkin takes it. 2 minutes to go. Russia 1 behind. They managed to go 1 in front. But then the Swedes reacted. From 7 down at half-time. What a turnaround. Looking for the line. Came off a defender. Saying it's a goalkeeper's ball, is it? He says he landed inside. Anderson looks up anxiously to the referee. Let's have a look. Atman jumps. Did he touch it? Well, he says he did. I mean, he's not one to... very straightforward guy, Matthias Andersson, and I guess if he touches it, he tempted to say he probably did. It wouldn't be the case with all goalkeepers, but there you go. If Sweden can score now, that could be it. Free throw. Clock has been stopped, 1 minute and 3 seconds. They're getting ready to take the goalkeeper out if needed. It's Gorbok who'll come on. 31-year-old who plays for Rhein-Neckar Löwen. Up against several of his teammates here today. Into the last minute. And the Swedish fans couldn't look more anxious if they tried. Oh, clumsy Pushkin catching Ekdal from behind. On another day of the week, that could be a 2-minute suspension. Ekdal goes down heavily, and we're inside the last minute. 1 goal in it. Oh, Staffan Olsson, he knows it's not been pretty, but at least they've still just got the lead. But it's going to take 1 mistake here, and Russia could hit them and share the points. Tension mounting in Aarhus. Here we go. He's through. Penalty. They're all defending inside the area. Igropoulou looks to the referee, but they did. They all fell back in the area. And a chance then for Sweden. He dummies the first one. Windmill feint to get past Igropoulou. And I'm afraid after that, both the Russians behind are standing inside. Pushkin and Shishkarev. So Bogdanov, who's not saved the penalty in the entire competition, comes on for Levchin. Will it fall then to Peterson again to put the penalty away, which could very well mean maximum points for Sweden, even though they've been completely outplayed in the second half. Peterson it is. Oh, tension mounting. Igropoulou just a bit too close. 3 meters away, please, says the ref. He scores! And that could well be it. 40 seconds to get 2. Team timeout for Kuleshov. And a look at the clock, and Atman, the disappointment will be etched on his face because he knows that they've probably blown it now. Still outscored in the second half. Sweden appeared to have done just enough to take the points. Their shot efficiency marginally better than the Russians. And it's Rimanov rather than Kuleshov who's talking to them. They'll probably take the goalkeeper out. They're going to have a quick shot at goal now and then go for man-to-man defending straight from the throw-off. Goalkeeper efficiency, well, it's slid right down. Neither one's good. 29-23% below par. Russia, European champions in 1996, runners-up in 2000, but since then, no European medals, I'm afraid, and it's not going to happen here either. It's probably still too early in the reconstruction. Ola Lindgren and Staffan Olsson just needs to keep the team calm. That's the order of the day. You've got a 2-goal lead, you're perfectly safe. You just have to defend really hard so they can't get the goal. So the goalkeeper is out, Gorbok is on with the goalkeeper's bib on. If Sweden steal the ball, there's an empty goal down the far end, but they probably shouldn't take the shot, let the clock run down instead. Well, there's no good if he's only going to stay on for 5 seconds. Igropulo shoots, and that's it. Andersson saves. He had to take a shot soon because the longer they left it, the longer it was going to be before they could get back to the man-to-man defending. And Sweden have saved the points. Well, luck in the end, playing its part for the Swedes. Big gap opens up, saved by Levchin. But it comes to nothing. And Sweden, outplayed in the second half here after looking as if they were in total control, have hung on. And they win 29-27. A dance, I think, more to do with relief than celebration. If they'd managed to share the points here or lose, it would have severely dented their hopes of a semi-final place. For the Russians, you have to feel sorry for them, because at half-time, a lot of teams would have given up the ghost. They came out, they powered away. And for 13 minutes, Sweden couldn't score. Russia hit them with a 6-0 to take a 1-goal lead before Sweden reacted and got going again. They were still outscored by 5 in the second half, but it was enough. And Igropulo, with his 11 goals, somehow still ends up on the losing side. Heartbreak for this young Russian side, but what a promising team they are for the future under Kuleshov and Rimanov. For Sweden, the hopes are still there. The semi-final place is within their control. But there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this for Sweden. Igropulo, it has to be, with 11 goals, 79% success rate. Well, a half-hearted thank you from the 28-year-old right-back as Kuleshov sits down and considers what might have been. Igropulo really did single-handedly tow the machine along for Russia and energize his teammates, and they all responded well. So Johan Jakobsen with 7 goals gets it. 47% scoring rate, not staggeringly high, and I might have been tempted personally to give it more to someone like Ekdal, but it's all subjective at the end of the day, isn't it? It's what you see and what your opinion is at the time. So Sweden, they've done the bare minimum in the second half. They've just hung on against a rampant Russian side, a complete Jekyll and Hyde performance. First half, Russia out of their depth. In the second half, Sweden floundering. Their attacks down to just 1- and 2-man combinations. It became an individual play. And Staffan Olsson, I think, knows he's got problems. They've got to get back this team play, the crossovers, the bigger moves. But Russia broke it down nicely and defended superbly in the second half. Oh, the Swedes can breathe a sigh of relief and go and find some of that strong liquor. So this is how the table looks then. 4 teams now on 4 points. Russia and Belarus's chances of semi-final glory, I'm afraid, out of the window, but it's wide open in this group as Croatia prepare to take on France, the 2 unbeaten teams in the group so far in this competition. So 56-53% on the attacks. It was very close in the end on the 2. 7 fast breaks from Sweden, all in the first half. In the second half, nothing was there. 10 turnovers for Russia, 8 of them suffered by Sweden in the second half, and 6 2-minute suspensions as they got pushed by the Russians, cost them dear in the end. Igropulo with 11, the best in the game for Russia, while Jakobsen responded with 7, although relatively expensive, with a less than 50% success rate. Look at that huge gap at the bottom there. 13 minutes, no goals, while Russia got the 6 to get right back into the game, and somehow they still lose out. They powered down the middle, 2 fast breaks, just the 1 penalty, 3 quick throw-offs,
but it wasn't enough. The wingers weren't in the frame at all. They really did batter it down with Igropoulou and Zhitnikov in the centre. For Sweden, again, not much width on it. It was the 7 fast breaks from the first half, and then a lot of fighting from the left and the right back, and goals going in at the 6 metre, but they did manage to miss 2 penalties in the process. So we'll have a look at the ratios, and it'll tell you that in the second half it was a complete role reversal. So in the end here, in the second game of the day, what a superb performance, a second exciting game. Sweden have hung on by the skin of their teeth to beat Russia 29-27 and keep alive their hopes of a semi-final place. Well, it's been a cracking game. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you can join us for the next one. But for now, from me, Paul Bray, until then, goodbye.
Yeah.